After thousands of requests, we're finally doing it. What if Marvel Legends made What If action figures? Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host Dakota, here with my co-host Jordan, and you've asked for it several times, or at least one of you has.
There might be one person that's just asked for it a million times, and for the record, I've been trying to bring this out for a while. Dakota's been very resistant, but I think he's finally worn down.
I am around to the idea of it now. I've compiled a list of some cool action figures. At first I was like, everybody that's in What If eventually becomes something like Jane Foster Thor. Like, that's a canon character now. Even Throg,
right.
Frog of Thunder,
Yes.
kind of canon. So,
Well,
some of
because
those
we
things,
are talking about Marvel Legends based on the What If comic books.
Right.
Like from the series, right? Because we've gotten What If based on the show, but we're talking the OG What If comics, which I always loved growing up. Those are some of my favorites. So maybe that's why these got a special place in my heart. But I think we found there's a decent amount of figures that you can make.
Yeah.
And more. So if you like it, we can keep going.
You guys will have to correct me if I'm wrong. I think I can think of two that they've already made from What Ifs. They have most recently that retro wave Spider-Man, is it Spider Shot? Was that a What If? I mean, maybe it's
I think
canon
that was
now because it's
from
part
the
of Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse stuff. That was
Okay.
from Spider-Verse, I believe.
Didn't he start out in What If?
Not that I know of. That was the first time I ever saw him was in Spider-Verse.
Oh, because
so.
I thought there was some.
Well, like in the comics.
Yeah, because I thought there was a What If Wolverine trained Spider-Man.
That was part of the lead up to Spider-Verse.
Oh,
So, or I think the second one where Superior Spider-Man is bringing people together.
gotcha.
if I
Okay, so
remember
that one
right.
doesn't count.
So-
Scratch that.
Eh,
The other one that I was thinking of was the Marvel Unlimited exclusive Venom Punisher figure.
yes.
Okay,
hmm
so there's at least one out there,
That
folks.
one, I believe, is, yeah.
Okay.
hmm
So we've got a list of five-ish, right? I mean, some of these maybe it's like a category, so maybe there's a multi-pack, a two-pack, something like that. But
Yeah.
we're gonna go through this list, and I'll start you off, Jordan. This is one
yeah.
I haven't read as many What If comics as I now want to, because going through these, a lot of these sounded fun, so I might just have to check all these off. But
All right.
and caveat, I haven't read any of these comics that I'm about to mention that I want figures for, but
Yeah.
based off of the cover issue, these look really cool and I want them.
All right. Let's
So-
hear it. Yeah.
The first one I've got is Captain America, and I don't even know what the What If title of this was, but it's, I think, like, what if Captain America was like Native American. I was kind of
Okay.
flipping through the issue, and it looked like this was more maybe Civil War time. It seemed like, I don't know if
Okay.
his name is Steve Rogers, but the Captain America character gets injured. I think a Native American kind of like uses some power to like bring them to life. Then that person
Right.
that like healed him gets killed. Now
Mhm.
he's like super soldiered, but more in a Native American type way. So
Okay.
you can tell by the cover here, this is right up my alley. Everything I
Right.
want in an action figure.
Is that one kind of newer? Is it?
Yeah, that's one of the newer.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think I was reading up on that one too, and that's one is where they have the White Skull is
Right.
like the evil. Maybe it's like the.
Because he's
set
got
in
like
that
a
era.
like a skull helmet type thing. Kind of looks like the
Yeah.
Mythic Legion accessory.
Maybe get a figure of him too.
Yeah.
And then we get Kahori. Oh,
Right.
hey, Kahori Captain. Maybe we tweak that up. Maybe you get What If to sell the What If shows, and with the comic ones. So it's kind of like, hey, if you like this comic one,
And then
I don't
after Kahori, then it's a perfect tee up for my Kashala, and it's just
That's right.
dominoes, and I get everything I want.
you're always working all the angles, man. I love it.
What do you have for your
Okay.
first one?
Yeah, one that I've got. Ironic that you said the one right off the bat, but I do think a What If Jane Foster had found the Hammer of Thor figure. So this is What If number 10. And I think this would work because it's very different from the Jane Foster Thor we have. Very much kind of like your classic Thor look, but it's Jane Foster. She's got the big Thor cape, the classic blue with the big yellow boots and stuff. And I do think I was reading, kind of paging through it a little bit today, because I also need to read up on more of my What Ifs. This one's a little wild, though. I just had to share this because in the context of the story, right, she finds the cane and hits it because, she's with Donald Blake. She becomes Thor, goes through the whole thing. of course, you know what I know. Thor's going to end up back with the hammer. He becomes Thor, but Odin makes her like a god. And then he's kind of like, she's like, oh, I got to go. You know, my love is gone. And I kid you not, Odin's like, well, I'm kind of lonely. And they get married. It's so bizarre. I was like, what on earth? So she like loses Thor to Sif and then marries Odin.
That's
It's
crazy.
like his mom. Yeah, that's real.
That's so weird.
You can look that up. But I was like, wow, that is quite the twist. So I think she'd be kind of fun though, just because that, you know, that concept of Jane Foster as the OG type Thor would be kind of fun.
Yeah, cool.
With her husband Odin.
I like it. And I don't know if you have this later on, but as a part of like an accessory, we get a Throg.
Oh,
so I think that would be
good.
fun. I think we've got to have a Throg in Marvel Legends somehow, some way.
Yeah, we might need some gimmicks to sell these, just because I don't know how. I think some of these would be cool. I don't know the demand for them, but I think it's fun.
I mean, I would hope that there's a Throg coming with the maximum Thor. That would make it maximum to me. But, you know, if that doesn't happen, then put it in here because, you know, what if it makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you've got your Jane Foster Thor. I'll stick on that Thor train, and I'm going to go with the time that Storm was wielding Mjolnir, which I think, again, is still canon because I was just reading X-Men earlier this year, I think, and somehow she, like, called down Mjolnir, or I don't know if it was exactly Mjolnir, maybe it was Stormbreaker, but something like that. She still was able to, like, hold it and wield it. But yeah, I think that's a very cool look for her. I guess that's you could maybe work that in with the What If cartoon, and I would probably take either one of them because it would fit. And I doubt they would do both if they were going to do them. But still, I think that's a very cool look for Storm.
Yeah, I think I was going through covers too. I might have seen that one, and I thought she was looking pretty cool. So we got two alternate Thors, but I think they're both cool enough that it's justified.
What if you used code STRONG101 at checkout at GoNewMeta.com? Well, I can tell you, you would save 10% off every order at GoNewMeta.com. So go try it out and let us know what you got.
One that I'd like to see would be the Mutant Thing. So this is What If, the original run, number 37, where it's what if the Beast and the Thing continued to mutate. The Beast doesn't really change too much. He just kind of looks a little more angry, so I was like, eh. But Thing, really, he goes through it, and he's kind of this more like green-looking rock monster man that's really kind of like, you know, he's got kind of these rock boil type things going on. So I think that's a fun concept for both of them, and that cover is very cool. I love that cover. So
you just got that this week, didn't you?
I actually didn't get that one, but I got several What Ifs. Yeah, I was getting so many, dude. I was getting buried in What Ifs, but it is a fun look, and maybe I got to go track it down now that I'm thinking about it more.
I was going to say, now that it's part of the podcast.
Right, I probably should have
business expense.
Yeah, exactly. I'll write it off. So I would go with a Thing, and I think he'd be a fun mutant type monster to get.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. I figured because we had just talked about you possibly picking that up, you would have either Beast or Thing on the list. So
there you go.
Make it a 2-pack. But like you said, Beast isn't that much different. So, all right. I'm going to take us back. I think it was the same time frame as that first Captain America that I mentioned. A couple issues later, you get a Daredevil that's kind of more Oni looking. So I think that would be very cool. I loved the like Demon Days, the Peach Momoko type stuff. This is kind of in that same vein, but not quite as stylized. But still, I think you could probably use even some of the parts from King Daredevil, like kind of those more puffy pants. But yeah, I'm a slut for any of the Oni stuff, even though I don't have any of those Mr. Negative henchmen. But I do want those because I love the Oni stuff. But as a Daredevil, I think that would be a really cool one.
Okay. I thought you were about to say there is a What If, I didn't put it on my list, where Daredevil is an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he's got this pretty gaudy looking yellow and green suit that looks horrible. But it's weird. I was noticing a trend where I was going through some of these on Unlimited, and a lot of them, like, they have something on the cover, and it's like they either don't look like that in the book, or it just like happens for like a panel. It's very, because even that Daredevil was like, oh, I could see that being a look, and I'm like, maybe in the very end you kind of see it, but
sticking with your idea of it only happens on the cover, one of my runner-ups is what if Spider-Man had, I can't remember exactly what it is, but what if Spider-Man kept being an entertainer, and it's pretty much Spider-Man with like a Spider-Man looking cape. So, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Like, let me paged through this a little bit.
Right.
Literally only on the cover. Maybe there's a panel in there that I glanced over, but otherwise he just looks like Spider-Man in the comic. But on the cover, he looks more almost like a cross between
Dirty
Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. But
what if?
Yeah.
That's dirty. What if? I thought for some reason I wanted to make the joke of what if Peter Parker bit the spider.
I like that one.
And the spider goes, he starts going on a human journey in Spider World. That's goofy.
What if some people were watching and not subscribed? Well, folks, it's true. This many people are watching and they're not subscribed. Don't be one of them. We're trying to get more subscribers so we can go to cool places like Toy Fair and San Diego Comic-Con. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed, feel free to join the membership.
I love it. Well, so one that I definitely have to have on my list is any Agents of Atlas. So this is What If number 9. It's I think What If Avengers formed to fight evil in the 1950s. If you'd listen to this podcast, folks, you know I'm passionate about this issue. I did recently get it, so that one is in my possession now, very proudly. But this is that team where they sort of were pulling from like the Island of Misfit Toys of forgotten Marvel characters that have gone out of publishing. So if, you know, that's where you got like Gorilla Man, there's Venus, Marvel Boy, Namora, 3D Man shows up, Human Robot. I really loved all those Jimmy Woo in that one too. So I love all those characters. I don't know how likely it is that I would get all of them, but I'd really take any of them. But I think Human Robot. Yeah, yes, I would love a 5-pack, but any combination of those OG Agents of Atlas would be super cool. And I feel like those kind of do have a cult following, I think. I mean, you can let me know in the comments if anyone else wants those, but they're high on my list. So that's my conglomerate. I'm going to say that's one pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to get away with that.
That's fair. And since you're getting away with that, I'll give you my 5-pack pick. I've been saying I want more Heralds of Galactus, and I would take What If Heralds of Galactus. So this is like super recently, like this year or last year. There was What If Gambit, Rogue, Moon Knight, Spider-Gwen, and Hulk became Heralds of Galactus. I think if I had to pick just a single one of those, I think Moon Knight looks the coolest. I'm always a sucker for the like starry looking capes, kind of like Quasar looking type of cape. So that one looked really cool. But honestly, all of them looked pretty good. I think Gambit was pretty cool too. I haven't read those comics yet, but I definitely want to because I think each of those is a cool concept.
And they might only look like that on the cover.
I don't know. I've never gone past the cover.
They're all just in their regular costumes. The rest are like, what if? 4 years later, you're still getting me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to say, what if you actually did what was on the cover in the book? I hate when that happens. I don't even like when they do different artists on the cover. I think if you're like drawing the book, you should be the one doing the covers. I hate when there's like
That's your job, dude. It's your assignment.
I hate that. That always bugs me. It's like, oh, this is a sick cover.
Makes me really mad.
This is the maddest I've ever been. It's like Alex Ross on the cover, and then I open it up and just stick figures on the inside. I hate it.
I get you. Yeah, right. Hate it when that happens.
So that's my pitch for a multi-pack for you. Heralds of Galactus. Right.
Well, speaking of heralds, Dakota, you know there is one herald that I'd have to get if we're talking about What If, and that is What If Aunt May became a Herald of Galactus, and that is none other than the Golden Oldie. I think that is a standout character. Definitely need that. And, you know, if we're going to be making Aunt May What If, we might as well put in another Aunt May What If. And this was a backup single-page story from What If Wolverine was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it is What If Aunt May had mutant claws, and she's got Wolverine claws coming out, which that's a beautiful visual. And, you know, if you're going to go as far as giving me the Golden Oldie, just give me that other Aunt May too. You can use regular Aunt May body, just pop some Wolverine claws on, and we'll be set.
I feel like I'd almost, like, even though it doesn't happen in the comics, I'd almost want like a Todd McFarlane-ish head of her smoking a cigar too. So she has her claws and just like an angry Aunt May with a big cigar.
Right. Yeah. If they'll do that for me, I'll take it. But that's my pitch for an Aunt May 2-pack.
There you go. All right. The last one I've got on my list, and this one, it's going to be more of an accessory that goes with your character, and I think this is a character that most people want because otherwise you've had to go with the select, and the select actually works pretty well. But we've never had the proper Watcher in Marvel Legends. So you could say the Watcher's a good one because kind of the Watcher's like the narrator of these books. Yeah. But I want the accessory so I can recreate the cover of What If No One Was Watching the Watcher, where it's kind of the Marilyn Monroe, the Watcher's getting his skirt blown up.
Right.
So that's, we're going to need like a regular skirt, but then I want the blown up skirt so you can be holding it down and
like
recreate
a fun
that cover
piece.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you can just make it wired robes and then I can do whatever. But
or this is a Build-A-Figure wave and you get the Watcher.
There you go.
Perhaps.
I'd be curious to know, like, would anybody even display the Watcher getting his skirt blown up? That's how I would display it. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone.
Would anyone buy any of these? We know one person. We have one fan who would buy all of these.
That's true. Watch that. They're in the comments like, none of these are the right picks.
You picked all the wrong ones. I've been waiting for this episode for a year, and you blew it. All right. Well, you know what? We're not perfect.
Yeah.
I like that. I think Watcher is a definite must if we're shaping up a What If wave, whatever the heck this is. We both had a same. You had one as an honorable mention, Dakota, and I'm going to have him as mine as well, and that was Wolverine. What if Wolverine became an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.? It's What If number 7. And I do think that would help sell these, right? Because everybody loves Wolverine. We always get Wolverine. But yeah, he's very much got that cutoff. Somehow he gets off with being an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. with a tank top. I don't know how, but it's Wolverine. So he's got that kind of agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. type look. Cigar. Don't know if they give it to us. Probably not. But this was a Rob Liefeld cover. So one of our faves. But again, similar thing where I think you see him in this, and then like you don't really get a real good look at him really till the end. Maybe he's sitting down like, you know, drinking a coffee or something, reading a dossier, but it's like, keep teasing us. But Wolverine, I think, would be a solid one.
My last one is going to be, again, didn't make it past the cover. I don't even know if I saw this on Unlimited or if I just Googled things and this popped up, but it's going to be a Infinity Thanos, and the look of him is Thanos in a Captain America costume. So I think that, to me, sounds ridiculous, and I don't know why anybody would want that other than to have something on their shelf that makes them laugh. But I like having some of those figures sometimes that I just like, that's a goofy figure, and I own it.
I'll take it.
I'll take a Captain America costumed Thanos
crossover.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Sign me up. I think I've seen that image before too, and I was quite intrigued. So hopefully we can get it. Well, last but not least for mine, you know what I know, Dakota. There's got to be a Dr. Doom on this list. So I went with What If number 22. This is What If Dr. Doom became a hero. So it says he would struggle with Mephisto. And he would suffer as no man has ever suffered before, which I think is a great little clipo to have on the cover of your comic. But it's kind of interesting. Again, the plot of this one, it's like the What If is, you know, the story. He's working with Reed Richards. He's like, your numbers are off. And he's like, you know, whatever. It blows up, messes him up. He goes down the dark path. In this one, he listens to Reed, and he rechecks it. And he's like, oh, you're right, man. Thanks, bro. And they conduct the experiment, but still Dr. Doom's soul gets sucked into some other dimension. So I guess, you know, kind of scary either way. Yeah. But it's like, and he's in this interdimensional thing. He hears the voice of his mother calling, you know, trapped in limbo or whatever they can call it legally. So then he's like, okay, I got to make my mission now is to study science and sorcery to save my mom. So he does that, and he gets this, I don't know, I want to like it more than I do, but it's this gold. It's basically Dr. Doom, but he's got gold armor and kind of like a knight type helmet thing. His mouth is exposed. I think he looks a little corny, not gonna lie. I wish they would have given him a little bit more of a cooler hero fit. But I think the idea of Dr. Doom becoming a hero and then going to do battle with Mephisto is a pretty fun concept. So I'd put Dr. Doom golden hero on my list.
I like it. You know, the hype for Dr. Doom is only going to be growing as we start to see him in the MCU, so it's possible for sure.
You never know.
So that is our list of what if characters for Marvel Legends to do from the comics. You're welcome. Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, stay strong.
What if Uncle Ben was gay?
I thought you would have a what if Uncle Ben was alive.
I don't know. Well, I haven't read that, and I don't know if there's anything iconic.
I just figured there'd
For
be
a
a way
look.
for you to get Uncle Ben. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.